this is Blake from Community Boost. Welcome back to the Google Grant Academy. This is video 3 and it's called Mechanics. It's actually a 3-part video. First, we're going to be going through and understanding more about AdWords and its structure, how it works. Then we're going to dive into something called quality score, why it's important, and then walk you through a full story of how when someone searches something online, how do the ads pop up? What does it really look like when someone clicks on your ad and then goes to your site and takes some sort of action? We'll walk you through that whole process. And then the third part, we're going to be talking about implementation. So we'll actually urge you to jump into your own AdWords account and walk through with us how to build some campaigns, ad groups, and keywords. So let's jump right into the first part of learning more about the Google AdWords structure. Well, let's look at an example of the Google AdWords structure. So one question we get really frequently is, how do my ads show up online? Or how does Google decide to show me an ad? Let's look at an example. Let's say someone goes onto Google and searches nonprofits in my area. That search actually triggers an ad. And the way that those ads are shown and how Google decides what ads are shown is really based around keywords. So all advertisers, for-profit and nonprofit, choose lists of keywords to target that are relevant to what they're offering. Then those advertisers bid on those keywords depending on how valuable they are to their organization. So in our case with the Google Grant, we're actually limited to that $2 cost per click that I mentioned in our first video. Now that we know how ads pop up, how does Google decide on specific ads? Why your organization's ads over another? And that's a great question as well. AdWords actually works on an auction system, which happens every time a user performs a keyword search. So to have your ad shown over another, you actually need to meet a couple of criteria. The first is that you have to have relevant ads based on the match of the search query. So if someone searches nonprofits in my area, you definitely want to talk to that and have the ad talk about nonprofits in my area or mention that kind of copy in it. 2, there needs to be relevance of the ad to the landing pages that you're sending people to. So when someone clicks your ad, they're actually going to be moved to a new page on your site. You need to make sure that that page that you're sending them to is relevant to what they were searching for. Sending them to a page that doesn't have that kind of copy or where they can't find what they're looking for, they're probably going to leave right away and have a bad user experience. If that happens frequently, then Google's going to make sure not to show your ad in the future. The third thing is that you need to have historical engagement of that ad and ad group. So if your ads are getting clicked a lot, people will come to your site and take action. Google will see that and then be more likely to show your ad going forward. Let's look at some more of the structure of Google AdWords. So now we're looking at the keywords in this hypothetical AdWords account. And it's interesting if we take a note that there are 3 different keywords here: nonprofits in my area, nonprofits near me, and charities in my area. And so again, let's say for example, someone went online and searched charities in my area onto Google. Google would then look at the keywords that we've pre-selected in our account and choose the most relevant ad to show to that person. So if someone chose or was searching charities in my area, the keyword that would get triggered would be charities in my area, not nonprofits in my area or nonprofits near me. And one thing that I really want to point out is that all 3 of these keywords are very, very similar, but just so slightly different. And it's actually important to note that we have a couple options of how we want ads to show to these people that are searching for these different keywords. If we wanted to, we could show each one of these users making one of these searches a very general ad that would kind of cover all bases and would have copy that they were probably all looking for that would engage with them. But given the choice, I'm sure all of us would want to show specific ad copy to each one of these users because arguably they're all a little bit different and have their own persona. And that's actually exactly what Google wants us to do. So let me dive into the next part of the structure, and it's actually called the ad group. So what Google wants you to do is to group similar keywords together and write ads that are as relevant as possible to them. And these are called ad groups. And you have many of them because people use different words to search for the same things. So for example, we were looking at these different keywords before that are very similar, but just slightly different. And we can create an ad group for each one. So we can create an ad group for a nonprofit near me, one for nonprofit in my area, and one for nonprofit local. I know the past example we had one that was charities in my area, but I think you still get the picture here. And the point really of creating specific ad groups for each keyword type is that with an ad group, we're given the ability to create a specific ad. So if you had all these different keywords in one ad group, you'd only be able to show one broad ad to each of them. But by separating them into different ad groups, you then have the ability to create more relevant, specific ad copy to each one. And that's really great because not only is it going to be more relevant to them and have them click on your ad and come to your site, but Google likes that kind of setup. We talked about it before, but when you have your account set up this way, Google is more likely to show your ads to people online. It gives you what's called a higher quality score. And it just means that the ad copy is extremely related to the search that someone's searching online, and that the landing page we're sending them to also matches the search and the ad copy in our ads. The final level of structuring is called a campaign. And this really allows you to control when and where each ad group should be shown. So we like to think of campaigns to be set up 1 by location, 2 by their marketing goals, and 3 by budget. So at the campaign level, we're really doing a lot of this setting configuration. We're able to choose where ads are being shown. For example, maybe it's a 30-mile radius around your organization, or maybe you're only targeting United States and Canada. With the campaign, at the campaign level, we're able to configure those settings. We're also able to choose kind of like a goal that you want from that campaign. For example, let's say I had a campaign that was a donation campaign, and the whole purpose of that campaign was to bring in donations to my organization. The cool thing about the campaign level is we're able to allocate budgets accordingly. It's very flexible. So let's say I had that donation campaign, of my budget, maybe I want to spend 80% of it on that. And then I want to spend another 20% on a different campaign. Let's say just overall brand awareness. So that's really what we do at the campaign level. And we kind of have an example here. So we would have one that's a local awareness campaign. Maybe we just want to get people to know about what we're doing in the community. The targeting, we could do a 30-mile radius around us, or we're targeting areas where we know people are constantly coming in and supporting us. We just have that data. And let's say we want to choose also the hours that our ads are being shown. So we can do it during our business hours maybe, or let's say we know that we get a lot of calls, high frequency between the hours of 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. We can show our ads then, and a lot of that configuration is in the power of the campaign level. Another thing that I want to point out is we can see these ad groups where they're clustered together based off of the relevance. So this one is nonprofit near me, and all the keywords in here say nonprofit near me. Now, this is kind of a trick in here, but we wouldn't actually want this charities near me in this ad group. We'd want to move it into its own ad group called charities near me. We want to make sure that each ad group only has its specific keywords in it. So for example, anything in a nonprofit near me ad group should only say nonprofits near me. One in nonprofit in my area should only have keywords talking about nonprofits in my area. And in the ad group nonprofit local should only talk about local nonprofits. So this local charities wouldn't fit in there as well. And so this is just kind of another example of how when you have an ad group, a certain search can show specific ad copy. So for example, if someone's searching nonprofits in my area here, they're going to see the ad from nonprofit in the area ad group. So Google would search through your account, see which keywords are the most relevant. In this case, we're seeing nonprofits in my area is the most relevant keyword, and the ad that's attached to that keyword in this ad group is this one right here. And so that would be shown. Now, let's say, for example, someone had searched nonprofits near me, then Google would search your account and see that this keyword, nonprofits near me, is the most relevant, and it's also in the ad group nonprofit near me. So this ad would be shown. And that's really how it works anytime someone searches something online. Some more common campaign examples, and we're going to go through these later on when we do our implementation. It's still in this unit. I believe it's video 3. We're going to walk you through how to actually build your own campaigns. So the most common ones that we build for every nonprofit we work with, we almost always create a donation campaign. And then we also create a general awareness, and then usually a local awareness. So what would be the difference between these three? So usually for a donation campaign, we're targeting United States. As long as it's relevant and people are searching for it, and we can get your ad to show online, there's a really good chance that people are going to come and take some kind of action, especially during Giving Tuesday or year end, when people are just in a very giving mood. That's a great time to have these campaigns going. And then let's say we're going to talk about a general awareness. So let's say it's just getting people to know about your organization. We want to get very broad with it. We have extra spend. Let's say you're not maxing out your grant, the full spend yet. We could show potentially your ads to all English-speaking countries, and we could show ads all the time. And let's say we want to do a local awareness. So you have an event coming up. You only want people in your community to come, or you assume that only people in your local community would be coming. You can show your ads in a 30-mile radius around you, only during business hours, or doing that during the hours that event may be shown. So these are some common campaign examples that we build, and we'll walk you through how to create a general awareness campaign and a donation campaign in video 3 of this unit. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you learned a lot. Again, today we really went over the quality score of an account, what that is, why it makes such an impact when Google's deciding to show your ads. Then we talked really through the whole funnel of when someone is searching something online, what are they seeing? How does an ad pop up, and how does Google choose your ad over someone else's? And then we actually dove into the structure of an AdWords account. And so what I really want to make sure sticks with you is that there are a lot of different keywords you can put into your account. It's very, very important that if a keyword is unique in its own way, you need to make sure that it's put into its own ad group, very specific ad group, so that you can show more relevant ad copy to that searcher online. And really the point of that is that that more relevant ad copy will not only garner a more effective click-through rate on your ads and people coming and taking action, but you're also adhering to Google's policy and the way that they like an account structured. So if you do that, I guarantee you will have way greater results than if you create some general ad groups that have multiple keywords, styled keywords in them. So thank you so much for taking the time to go through this video, and looking forward to catching you in video 2 of this unit.